Hi guys, today I just wanted to make a little video on weed spraying. Now's the time on the east coast of Australia anyway, where there's a lot of weeds popping up. Your clovers, your bindies are starting to show. A lot of flat weeds around, dandelions, that sort of thing. And I see commonly asked on forums and Facebook pages, how much of this certain chemical do I need to add to per litre of water to spray my weeds? Now, I often see an answer and it'll be calibrate your sprayer. Have you calibrated your sprayer? Now, the average guy will go, wow, calibrate the sprayer, how do you do that? And that'll be the answer that someone will give. And it's an honest question. The guy just wants to know how many mils per litre of chemical to add to spray his weeds. And someone who's right, the answer's not wrong. You do need to know your sprayer calibrations. But the average guy thinks, as soon as he hears that word calibration, he thinks that's too hard. Well, I just wanted to make a quick video and simply show you what they're talking about when they say calibrate your sprayer, and just a bit of a guide for you to spray your weeds at this time of year. Okay, so the answer is calibrate your sprayer. Well, what does that mean? That means how many litres of water does your sprayer put out over a given area? So we're going to talk 100 square metres, because here's some spearhead here, 10 litres of spearhead, which is nearly empty. And the rate for spearhead is 50 mils per 100 square metres, or 5 litres per hectare, which is what it says on the label, which equates down to 50 mils per 100. I strongly recommend anyone spraying chemicals read the label, because you get silly questions and off guys, and the answers are on the label most of the time. So read the label. These chemicals usually won't say 10 mils per litre or 5 mils per litre or whatever it may be. Your wetters, on the other hand, will usually, but lots of chemicals won't give you how many mils per litre, because you need to know how much water you're using over a given area. Okay, so how do you calibrate your sprayer? Well, I've made a high-tech drawing over here for you. It's usually over 100 square metres, so if you can measure out 10 by 10 on an area is good. A lot of people don't have that size area to be able to measure. So 2 by 5 will do, which will give you 10 metres, and you can multiply that by 10, which gives you your 100 square metres. This can be measured out on grass, but if you can find like a concrete tennis court or something like that, big concrete area where you can measure your area out, whether it's going to be 10 metres or 100 or 50 metres even, it's good to do it on concrete, because you can use your sprayer and not overlap too much and get a more accurate reading, whereas on grass you can't really see your overlaps. So what you do, you measure your area out, and say you put some witches' hats, traffic cones out, 4 in your square, however you want to do it. Then what you do is you put some water in your sprayer. Here's a Sylvan battery 16 litre backpack sprayer. I also recommend using battery powered sprayers for spraying weeds these days, because my reason being, not just because it's so much better to spray using battery powered, you get a constant flow with these things. With the old ones that you had to hand pump, your pressure drops and then you're pumping it up, so your pressure of your spray coming out of the lance is going up and down, if you know what I mean. These things are constant. Your constant pressure all the time, much better. Righto, so I only ever put 10 litres in this because it gets too heavy on your back. So calibrate your sprayer. Put 10 litres of water only in your spray tank. Spray your area up and back, only once. Try not to overlap too much, right? So you do your spray and then you come back to your sprayer and you see how many litres you've got left. There's usually a measure on the side of your tank that will show you how many litres are left. So 10 litres, you might use say 4 litres over the 100, you have 6 litres left. So that means you're using 4 litres per 100 square metres. So guess what? That means you put 50 mils in 4 litres and you're sweet. Your reading should be between 3 and 6 litres you should get over. And you walk at just a normal walking pace. You don't go really slow and drench everything. Just enough to cover it nicely, and you don't walk too fast. So if I can just show you here, I've got some water in this sprayer. So I'm trying to do this one-handed again. I was going to try and film this with a good camera, but it didn't work out. It'd help if I turned it on. Anyway, just let me turn this on for you. Sorry. Right, so I'm going to spray. Now, that's another thing you need to work out your nozzle. If you can see, that is a fan tip nozzle, that's a blue one. And fan tip means it sprays like that. Can you see that? Now, that's putting out lots of water, so you just walk at a steady pace, which will wet the weeds. I do recommend when you're spraying weeds to add a little bit of some sort of wetter. This is just wetter 600, and the rates for that are very low. I think it's only a few mils, might be 5 mils per 10 litres of water. And that's how you get your results. Now, I'll just talk about it for a little minute. I had a friend ask me what rates I use, and I told him, and no, that's the wind on the doors. I told him, and he went and sprayed a couple of lawns and he burnt them. And I thought, man, what are you doing? Because I get a perfect result. When I saw how he was spraying, he was walking way too slow and drenching everything. So when I sorted him out and got him walking at a normal pace, things were much better. Also, don't go that way and that way, because that's applying double an application. That's all right with fertiliser, but not when you're weed spraying. Because if you do it two ways, you're applying double the rate, if you know what I mean. So get down to the nuts and bolts of what I'm trying to say to you. So you've worked out that, say, 4 litres covers 100 square metres. So in here, if you're going to put, say you put 8 litres, you know then that you're going to cover 200 square metres with 8 litres, and you're going to put 100 mils in that 8 litres. So you're going out tomorrow to work and you've got about 3 or 4 lawns to spray. You know the first lawn's at least 150 metres, so there's your 4 litres. There's 6 litres gone. So mix up your 8 litres. You're going to have 2 litres left mixed at the right rate. So the next lawn might be only 20 metres. You've got enough in that 2 litres to get over your 20 metre line, if you see what I'm saying. And then the next line you do, you might have to mix up some more. So you want to mix up another 8 litres. So you put your 8 litres in, you know you're going to put 100 mils in, and at your walking pace, whatever you spray is going to be the right amount of chemical over that area. I hope you can understand what I'm trying to say. It's calibration's not, you don't have to do it every time, and you don't have to know the size of the lawn. If it's your own yard, you might measure it out, so because you might be applying fertilisers and stuff, you might know your backyard's exactly 100 metres. Well, that would make things very easy. But it might be 80 metres, it might be 65 metres. But at your walking pace, with 50 mils in 4 litres, you know you'll get over 100 metres. So if your lawn's say 80 metres and you've mixed up enough for 100 metres, you'll have some chemical left in your spray tank, enough to do another 20 metres. And if you're only doing your home lawn, you'd be able to work out your chemical rate for your 80 metres or 150 metres, whatever it may be. So I do hope that helps you a little bit. This is what I use on the flat weeds around here, and the clovers and oxalis. It's really good. Spearhead. There's about 3 or 4 different names for it. Bow and arrow, javelin. There's lots more that I've heard of, and it's all the same active ingredients, active constituents is that word there. And if you have a look, there's 3 in this, and it's a very good chemical. The only thing I would say about it is, if you're going to use it, make sure you shake it before you mix it up, because it separates. So I do that with all the chemicals that you use. Give the bottle a good shake before you're going to measure it out, because some of them do separate, some do settle on the bottom. And I recommend a backpack sprayer for lawns over a hand pump sprayer, because you're spraying bigger areas, and a backpack is much better for a bigger area. And the battery powered, as I said, keeps the pressure constant, which is what you want when you're spraying weeds, constant pressure. And another thing is weather conditions. I said the wind was blowing today. The wind is really howling outside. I wouldn't go out spraying on a windy day. Another thing that can cause problems is dew on the grass of a morning dew. You're much better to spray a dry lawn than one with dew on it. As you can imagine, the lawn is wet, and you're spraying your chemical on, that water is diluting your chemical even more. So you're not getting a proper, accurate application of your chemical. So dry, no wind, and a nice day is just, for the best results. And you do get really good results with Spearhead. Another tip is, if you want to add a little bit of Destiny or Lonro, I think it's called, the other name for it, which is good on onion weed, a little bit of that in your mix is even better. You get a really good kill of weeds. Anyway, guys, I just hope that helps a little bit. If you can understand what I'm saying about calibration, you just need to know how many litres of water your sprayer puts out over 100 square metres. My sprayer might put out, at my walking pace, 4 litres. And if I got your sprayer, which may be a different brand, it might only put out 3.5 litres over that 100, or it might use 5 litres. So it's important you know your sprayer and how much chemical it uses over the 100. And it's as simple as that. So yeah, on your label it will say, might be 100 mils per 100 square metres. Right, that's easy. If you're using your 4 litres over your 100, that means you put 100 mils in your 4 litres. It might be 150 mils per 100, so you would put 150 mils in. Might only be 25 mils. Just depends what you're spraying. But if you know how many litres that sprayer is using over the 100 square metres, you're in front. You shouldn't muck up. Okay, guys, I hope that helps a little bit. Please subscribe to me if you like my videos. I know they're a bit rough on the editing and that, because I don't edit them. I'm hopeless with that sort of stuff. Please subscribe, comment, ask me anything you want to ask me about it. I mean, some guys make it really complicated on YouTube, on spraying lawns and that. I just want to try and make things simple that the average guy can understand without going into too much technical stuff. Anyway, guys, hope that helps. Talk to you in the next one. Bye.